Well, I really appreciate you guys all bringing me all these cool cars to work on. My plate is full of things to do. Appreciate that. Just did a alignment on this little autocross car. It's going over to Nebraska. It's actually going to Nebraska this weekend to go do autocross. But right now I get to work on this beauty. Very nice full fender 32 Ford 5 window. Oh, look, them apples. Nice paint job too. Small block Chevy, air conditioning. Nice low drop. Oh, that's kind of neat. I haven't seen that done before. Turn signals down in there. Down in the crossbar, we're on coilovers up front. And a beam drop axle. And heck yeah, man. This thing's right up my alley. I personally like the 3-window coupes better, but they're harder to come by and way more expensive to build. The 5 windows are much more common. But for me, they're hard to get in and out of because the door is so small. But these things are awesome looking. Traditional hot rod right there, but very nice. Let's get it on the rack. I got to do an alignment. Shouldn't be too hard. It's just going to be a toe adjustment and possibly a steering wheel adjustment. We still got the cloth top on it too. Most guys fill those. Super cool. Thank you guys for letting me work on your toys. It's really an honor. That's a fun little ripper. So this little Deuce Coupe was recommended to us from Central Ohio Rods and Customs over in Newark. This gentleman lives on the other side of Newark. Was about an hour, a little bit over an hour drive. He's actually scheduled to come in later today, but it's supposed to rain later and he doesn't want to drive this in the rain. I get it. So he came over, we're squeezing him in. He was concerned with the wheel clamps, being able to clamp those tires. I don't think I'll have any problems with the arms I have. You can clamp them on standard, straight across, and then it ends up being up here, but you have to be able to sweep the wheel back and forth, so we'll have to check it for clearance on the fender. And you can actually, sometimes I'll offset the mount and then change the head position or the hat position, and it allows me to cheat around tight fenders. This one's got tons of room. I don't think it'll be a problem, but we'll comp it and see. We'll figure it out. He was told by multiple shops that it sat too low for them to align the car, and obviously we don't say that unless it's actually true, because I don't know, I've not had one that's defeated me yet, but I have had them so low. I have had cars that are so low with such tight fender clearance that I can't use the arms. And when that happens, I bungee strap. I just bungee strap the hat to the wheel. I mean, sometimes you just have to create solutions. It's just the reality of the world we live in these days. Well, let me get the rolling comp done, and we'll get moving forward on this project. Oh, she's got some toe in her. Ignore warning. We'll use early Pinto because it's a short wheelbase. It's about the same width. And it's the common front suspension system that gets put in these. This one's just a straight axle, so it's really just a toe adjustment. But we'll get it figured out. it's a good thing we're getting this aligned. So massively towed in. So let's square up our toe, and then we'll figure out our steering wheel position, and that's really about all the only adjustments this thing has. Let's take a look underneath. Yeah, it's got a twin 2-bar, which is nice. Oh, you need some bushings there, buddy. Bushings are gone. That'll cause problems. That has to be fixed. Let's see if we can find some bushings for this thing. Our toe adjustment won't be affected by that. Looks like it's using the same bushings in the rear 4-link, and then you've got, okay, good, you've got a panhard bar. Ooh, she's running low. Rich just picked it up. What did I pick up? The heat shield. It's on the dyno. On the dyno. Heck yeah. This little girl's seen some miles, man. This thing's awesome. TH400, small block Chevy, power steering, air conditioning. I don't know that that transcooler is doing much without any air flowing through it, but it's all right. Heck yeah, man. I dig it. So the axle needs to come this way. Quite a bit. And might need to make, oh, coilovers are adjustable. Oh, this one's way down. And this one's way up. I wonder why that is. Because this side looks higher. So that might be the way the mounts are in there. Huh. I'll have to think about that. It's definitely higher on this side than this side. I wonder if they have different weight springs in it. I wonder if the coils are different weight springs. That's different. Well, let's go this way with it. Pinion angle could probably stand to be changed as well. We're bottoming on the cross member. That's not good. Let's see what he wants to do with that, and then we'll make some decisions. That engine sits up. Alright, so we have a panhard bar up in here that connects the axle to the frame and keeps the axle square from side to side in the back of your car. And I can adjust that, make it longer or shorter, and change the position of the axle in the back. And I want to do that first to get myself square side to side. And basically I'll measure from the frame rail to the wheel to get it close, and then we'll see where the fenders are. When I first looked at it, it was really close to the fender over here, and there was a bunch of gap from the tire to the fender over here. That could be how the body's mounted onto the frame if it wasn't set on it correctly from the start. I don't know. I won't know that until I start with something square. So we're going to square the axle to the frame, and then we'll see if that makes us square to the body. I'm more concerned with it being square to the chassis than the body, but I also want it to look good. So we'll find a happy medium. Ultimately, I can put it anywhere I want to as long as I make everything square at the end. And it's just kind of a judgment call as to where it ends up. So let me start by squaring my panhard bar here. And as I make it shorter, it pulls the axle this way. Which you can already see I'm farther under the fender now, which is good. And I'm a little more square. Now it looks like I've got more tire to fender clearance vertically. And I definitely do on the other side. But they're adjusted up on this coil. And they're adjusted all the way down on this coil. So I'm wondering if there's two different spring rates in the back. Not maybe the springs got mixed up or they were boxed wrong. You never know. But when you have that much difference and this side's still stiffer and higher, even though that one's adjusted up higher, I think we're going to need to change the springs out on the back of this, because I think we've got two different rates going on. And I would honestly want the more aggressive spring rate, because we are bottoming on this cross member here, or this cross member needs to be clearanced. But it's also bottoming on the new panhard bar mount up there too, so a few things to overcome. But that's hot rods. It gets built and then it gets figured out. So the axle still needs to come this way. Then you have to account for the fact that this is a Ford 9-inch that's been narrowed. So you don't know if it was narrowed evenly on both sides to be square. You would think it would be, but you never know what guys did back in the day. Somebody had an idea in their head and they built it that way, and then we look at it 50 years later, or 20 years later, or whatever. We make changes that we think are right. We try to get the car to ride and handle as good as we can. That's probably where we're going to leave it, because when you look at it from the back of the car, it looks pretty even. And you look down on the fender well, the tire, the fender well to the tire, it could probably still go over just a hair, but it's a lot better. So this tire is closer to the fender up front, so I think I'm going to bring the other side in. I always like making my rods shorter rather than longer, if I can. This is a single shear setup, which I don't personally care for, but that's the way this car is set up. I'll show you what that is here in just a second. For a real quick example, this is double shear. So the bolt is supported on both sides. So all of your load is supported all the way through the bolt. a single shear, all the load, it has the ability to pivot. So the single shear point as opposed to a double shear point. The double shear point is exponentially stronger. It's probably not a big deal. This car doesn't weigh anything, so not a big deal. But you can see I have adjustments here. And again, it comes back to how stuff is welded into the car, because you can see this is loose. Which when these are loose, the threads can burn out, especially on the back axle, because acceleration, deceleration, braking, you get rotational forces on these forward and back. So I'll make sure I lock those down and put paint stripes on them. That one's loose too. That one's loose. So we'll go through and double check all that stuff. But I have to take the bolt out, which should be pretty easy to do, but I need to do it to both of them. Shorten those to bring my wheel forward, and that'll help with my toe in the back, because our rear toe is, see, our rear toe is towed out and our rear toe is towed in, so that axle is making the car dog track in the back. So I'm looking at this, and this thing's sitting with the weight on it. That shock, the coilover is only maybe 2 inches of up travel before it bottoms. I'm going to move the shock position to the lower position here, so that at ride height we're sitting a little more in the middle range of our shock absorber. And then I'm going to have to adjust my coil spring adjusters up on both sides. Both coils, I checked the diameters. The diameter of the spring on each side is the same, so I don't know why one's cranked down so much more than the other for us to achieve our ride height, but we will play with that next. I'm currently lengthening both of my lower arms to get my pinion angle to closer to 3 degrees down to match the 3 degrees up of the transmission. And then where the drive shaft ends up is where the drive shaft ends up. We will probably lift the back of this car a little bit, because with the combination of dropping the pinion for pinion angle, that'll give us more clearance on the cross member, but we may pick it up a ½ inch or so in the back just to give us some more clearance from it bottoming out. But also with me increasing the pressure on the springs will also help keep it from bottoming out. So hopefully that will work. These look to be AFCO street rod style coilovers, so he said they're probably 20 years old. They're probably, I think they're AFCOs, and they are not adjustable, so there's nothing I can do to change dampening on them without taking them apart and rebuilding them. And that's not on the list of things to do today. So let's keep making some changes. Alright, so I made some adjustments. I'm not going to mess with ride height yet. I'm going to go ahead and recomp this, start over, make sure I got a good compensation, because I made a ton of change to the front, a ton of change to the back. I'm down to below a ½ degree thrust, which I'd like to see that as close to 0 as possible, but I think a quick recomp will let us know if we're in the ballpark. So let me do that real quick. Alright, so I changed my position to the lower point, which you can see now I've got my shock travel is about midway in the body, so my dampening is going to be better because we're not running at the bottom end of the shock. We're now running in the middle, so our dampening should be better. I've got my coil turned up. I'm still a little high on this side, so I think we're still going to recommend a new pair of coils just to make sure we have a matched set. My pinion angle's better. I need to bring it down just a hair more, but it's a lot better. And we're still tight there. Probably going to need to cut a relief out there so that we're not hitting. You can see I recomped it And now I'm actually towed out a little bit, but I'm way better than what I was before, because before I was 3 degrees towed in. So because it was such a radical amount, it didn't comp well. So that's why I always go back and I recomp things when stuff's really out of whack. So we'll set our tow again. I'll play with my rear thrust angle because I'm more than halfway where I need to go. Because I was over 1.1 before, and this was whatever it was before, 60 or 80 positive. So we've come around. Our thrust angle's below a ½ degree, which is great. I think the yeah, 0.71 and 1.1 thrust angle was a full degree off. So we've cut that down 70%. That's a pretty good start. All right. Made some more adjustments to both of my right rods. Made them both shorter by 2 turns. That got me pretty close. My thrust angle's below a 1/10 of a degree, and I'm good with that. My front toe looks good. So with that, I think, other than maybe needing to, well, he's not complaining about front end rubbing. I've got the back picked up a little bit because we're so close to the drive shaft rubbing. Definitely made some improvements there. I think my ride height looks good. Could actually stand to go up just a hair more on this side. I think I'll pick this side up just a little bit more. I think that's a wrap on this little Deuce Coupe. We got, well, it came a lot of little things. Got new rear coils and a hind joint for his homework to replace. We're going to replace both upper forward hind joints on the front axle. And then both rear coil springs, so that we can hopefully get those at an equal measurement. You know, little things. Fixed a bunch of little things. Fixed a pinion angle. Squared up the axle in the back end, shifted it, centered it into the back end. So a lot of little things ought to make it ride better. I'm going to pull the heads off this thing and take it for a test drive because that's the best part of my day. I get to test drive all this cool stuff. I love Deuce Coupes. These things just have the best lines. Even if it is a 5 window. Still epically cool. These things are amazing. Well, this is the 6-liter diesel back here. I gotta get it in and do head gaskets on it. And I got a 6-liter project that'll be showing you here pretty soon. Right now I gotta run across town to Parsons to pick up a mag drill so that I can drill my big heavy table for holding stuff down. There are lots of little things going on, lots of little bits that make everything tick. Thank you very much for bringing me the cars that you guys bring me to work on. It's an honor that you guys come from far and wide to let me do some repairs on your vehicles. This one definitely drives better than it did before he came here. I think the customer's gonna be real happy with it. I gave him a few homework items to take care of, and we'll get him on the road to righteousness. Have a great day. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.